applying for a Go Laurel Highlands grant for the Laurel Highlands Heritage Marker Trail that we're going to hear about in a minute. But if you want to apply for individual grants for your sites or your organizations, I encourage you to do so. I would like to know if you're applying for a grant, and then that way I can help you flesh out the idea, if I can help you maybe collaborate with another organization. I think collaborative grants are always going to be a little stronger. I am happy to do that, happy to put you in touch with someone. So if you want to apply for one of those grants, it can be, I believe, Colin, it's $5,000, $10,000, or $20,000 grants. And they're open right now through December 15th, I believe. If you want to attend the America's 250 PA regional meeting, Go Laurel Highlands is hosting it, and along with Fort Ligonier. And it's happening on Monday, November 18th. So that is for nonprofit affiliates and people who are connected to America's 250 PA. But I think I can honestly say, since we're hosting the meeting, if you want to come to the meeting, just come to the meeting, right? So I have sheets on that if you would like more information about that. I also encourage you, if you have something you'd like to put on a podcast topic for America's 250 PA, or if you have an event that you want to have listed on their website, I encourage you to do that as well. They also have, and I don't know if you saw any pictures of the Keystone Kid mascot, but they have a giant mascot. He looks like a Keystone with gloves, and I think he has shoes. He's adorable. And we had him for our kickoff at the Arts and Heritage Festival this summer. Children love him. He's really cute. He's really accessible. Kids run right up, and they're not afraid of him at all. So if you have a major event, we can see if he's available. Then I also want to tell you, we do have information on the bell and a big poster in the hallway. We're taking suggestions for places, people, and things that we can put on the bell. And I can tell you more about the bell out in the hallway. And then there's a whole bunch of materials out on the tables. Please take it all. I don't want to have to take anything back to the office with me. So there's posters and buttons and stickers, so help yourselves to whatever you want to take home today. Okay, so now it is my great pleasure to introduce our next speaker. Is everybody doing okay? Okay, keep going. Okay, we're just gonna push through. So our next speaker is from the William G Pomeroy Foundation. His name is Steve Bodnar, and this is an initiative that I'm really excited about bringing into the whole region. We are going to be creating a Laurel Highlands Heritage Marker Trail. And then above what Steve is going to tell you, I have some ideas to even embellish this whole idea even further than the markers and really make it far-reaching. So take it away, Steve.
Thank you, Dawn. Thank you, Go Laurel Highlands. And also, thank you to our last presenters. What a fantastic presentation and idea. Congratulations to all of you. So, my name is Steve Bodnar. I head up marketing and communications for the William G Pomeroy Foundation. And I am here today to talk about the Laurel Highlands Heritage Trail, which is going to be a historical marker collaboration with Go Laurel Highlands and hopefully all of you. So the William G Pomeroy Foundation is a philanthropic bread-making organization based in Syracuse, New York. We are a privately funded foundation, and we really focus a big part of our mission on providing funding for historical markers nationwide. And we actually have many great examples right here in the Commonwealth that I will share with you today. So here's a little bit of our session focus. So I'll introduce you to the William G Pomeroy Foundation, who we are, what we do. I'll introduce you to the Laurel Highlands Heritage Trail concept with historical markers. I'll talk about the various marker grant programs that will be available to you through the Heritage Trail. And then I'll talk about how you can get involved and how the grant application process works, and talk about some great outcomes as examples as what we've already done. So let me introduce you to Bill Pomeroy. He is a philanthropist and entrepreneur who established the William G Pomeroy Foundation. We've got two core parts to our mission. Bill established the foundation when he was battling leukemia, so a big part of what we do is working to beat blood cancer. And Bill is a lifelong history enthusiast. enthusiast. He's had a passion for history since his youth. And so the other big part of what we do is providing grants for communities to help commemorate their local history in the form of historical markers, which I will share with you throughout the rest of this presentation. So why historical markers? What was Bill's interest in historical markers? Well, that's a story that goes back to his childhood when he would be driving in the car with his dad, who was a traveling salesman, and they would stop and read historical markers together. On your left, that's Bill's father actually reading a plaque. We have photos from his childhood where this story really originates, and that passion for history stayed with him. And when he established the foundation, he found out that New York State had stopped funding its historical marker program decades earlier, and local communities had to raise their own funds when they were interested in getting a historical marker. And Bill wanted to fill that gap. So we launched our first historical marker program to commemorate New York State history. And that was really the impetus for several different signature marker programs that would be available to you and are currently available in the Commonwealth and available through the Laurel Highlands Heritage Trail in the form of markers, and as well as a number of national partnerships and collaborations like the one we're talking about with Go Laurel Highlands. All of this is going to be really great conversation and ideas leading up to the 250th. So please keep that in mind as we go through the presentation. So one of the things that I wanted to highlight is this is, of course, through the Tri-County region, the concept of the Laurel Highlands Heritage Trail. The next several slides, I'm going to talk about the benefits of historical markers and give you some nice visuals of marker dedications where folks have actually unveiled their markers in their communities to commemorate their local history. So why historical markers? So there's benefits. Markers help to educate the public. They're a tool for learning and engaging with your local history. They encourage pride of place and the power of place, and that's a conversation we've been having a lot today, and really thinking about what are the engagement tools for connecting people to the stories of the past within their communities, and also connecting that together in the concept of a trail form where people can go site to site and kind of start to make these nice connections. They promote tourism, historic tourism, cultural tourism, broadly tourism in general, because people come and visit these markers. If they're placed at a historical site, if they're placed at a unique location where folks can really engage and start a launching point to explore local history. And they also are a great tool for engaging the community more broadly in the form of like a dedication ceremony when the marker is placed, and you can have local dignitaries, media involved, and there's a real great level of attention and buzz in the community. So over the next couple of slides, I'm actually going to show you some examples of our marker programs, the signature programs that the Pomeroy Foundation offers, and all of these, again, are available in the Commonwealth. So first I'll kick it off with Hometown Heritage. This is an example of a marker that's already installed in Franklin County. Hometown Heritage is our national local history marker program. It commemorates significant people, events, places in local communities. The window of time for the history being commemorated is 100 years prior to the application, so that would be 1924 now, 1925 next year. And it's really a great example of folks thinking about their local history and tying it in with the 250th. So on this particular marker, we've got an example of an America 250 badge. This is really a great way to tie in local history with the national celebration and state history. As you can see, there's a logo at the top that's got the state outline of Pennsylvania, and every single state that gets one of these markers gets their own unique logo. So this will be available on the Laurel Highlands Heritage Trail. Historic transportation. Folks are super interested in looking back at early transportation history. This program is also available in the Commonwealth, and one of the examples of the programs you can apply to. It has a time frame of 1945 and earlier, before the interstate highway system and the real acceleration of the automobile's popularity. So you could celebrate and commemorate history related to historic railroads, historic bridges and canals, aviation. So think of transportation landmarks that are in the Tri-County area that might qualify in this category. Another signature program, Hungry for History. So this is our food-themed historical marker program. Very popular. The example I'm showing you here is salt potatoes. We're based in Syracuse. Salt potatoes are a Syracuse favorite. And we've had some conversations. I've heard folks talk about the banana split. There's some ideas here, and this is a really great way to engage people in a historical theme that you might not find on a traditional marker. It's just thinking outside the box in a way that really connects people to things that are important to their cultural heritage and their community history as it pertains to food and in some cases beverages and food festivals that also meet the criteria. So have two more signature programs that are available for the trail. I'll share the National Register of Historic Places. Sites on the National Register of Historic Places do not come with funding for signage, so often there's not a way to know that a site is on the National Register. The Pomeroy Foundation fills that gap. We provide funding for historical markers such as this, for public properties and historic districts. So sites that are on the National Register where there's a public access element to it. This is a great program, probably one of the easiest to apply to. You just need to prove and provide that the site has been designated to the National Register, and we can even help you with that. And last but not least, for signature programs, these are folklore programs. There's not a national folklore program related to the cultural heritage around lore and legends and passing stories down through the generations. And so we've got a great program that is in the form of a marker that we're able to commemorate that. So in Pennsylvania, our state partner is the Pennsylvania Center for Folklore in Harrisburg. They have professional folklorists that actually vet these markers and ensure that the stories are true to the local communities and have been passed down. And this is actually a great example in Somerset County. Actually, the legend of a witch. So really interesting, fun program as well. So before I move on to talk a little bit more about the application process, I just want to highlight a couple of other national and regional partnerships that we have so you can see other examples of the great work our collaborators are doing with us. So the Lafayette Trail. There are already some Lafayette Trail markers in Fayette County, of course, Uniontown. This is a great partnership commemorating the General Lafayette's 1824-1825 farewell tour. We're now in the bicentennial period as we speak, and there are markers going up in all of the states following the path of General Lafayette's farewell tour as the last living major general of the Revolutionary War. This is a really exciting partnership in that it's looking back to the nation's founding, and so it's certainly very timely and a great example of the good work that's being done. The National Votes for Women Trail, our partner, the National Collaborative for Women's History Sites. This is a program we did with over 200 markers nationwide leading up to the centennial of the 19th Amendment. Really terrific program, and was really helpful in telling a lot of untold stories related to women's suffrage and the lead up to the 19th Amendment. Patriot Burials. I have two more programs for you to share. So Patriot Burials is a great program related to, in collaboration with state societies of the Sons of the American Revolution, and placing markers at the burial sites of those who fought in or were involved with the fight for independence. This program has really taken off, very engaging, great dedication ceremonies with a lot of patriotic pageantry, and we have it in several states right now. my colleague Zach Finn is working on the program. He's with us today, so you can have some conversations about that. And we're looking to bring this program to the Commonwealth as well. And the last partnership I'll talk about is the North Carolina Civil Rights Trail. This is a wonderful partnership we have with the North Carolina African American Heritage Commission, commemorating civil rights sites, people and places throughout the state of North Carolina as it pertains to the civil rights movement. Another great example of a regional partnership going on. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about, go back to those first few programs that I highlighted, our signature grant programs that will be and are currently available through the Laurel Highlands Heritage Trail historical marker program. So with each of those marker programs, there's a couple things I want to highlight. One, those grants are available to nonprofit 501c3s, nonprofit academic institutions, and local, state, and federal government agencies, so in your local municipalities. These markers are fully funded by the Pomeroy Foundation. They cover the entire cost of the marker, the pole, the shipping from the manufacturer, and the local communities usually get some volunteers together for installation. But we're really focused on ensuring that folks can get a great marker outcome when they go through our process. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that in the form of what the subject matter of some of these markers are, so you can kind of get thinking about that. We do have an online application process for each of these programs, and each of these programs has all of the criteria that you would need to know about what qualifies for one of these programs right on our website. For the purposes of kicking off the Laurel Highlands Heritage Trail, I wanted to say that we're going to be available directly to start and facilitate these applications for you. So you could reach out to me, Steve Bonner, directly. I have my business cards with me. We have some contact information on a slide. You can talk to my colleague Zach, you can talk to Dawn, and we can help facilitate this for you so that we can guide you into this process so that we know that you want to participate in the Laurel Highlands Marker Trail and get that special designation added to one of these markers in the signature programs. Some of the key things to think about as you're thinking about marker ideas is location, visibility, parking, safety. These are things so that you want to keep in front of mind so that you can think about how folks are going to be able to visit and engage with these markers. I also want to think about land permission letters. Some of you might own your own property through your organization. It might be a municipality, but if you're thinking of partnering with somebody, you're going to have someone, the property owner, sign off on a land permission letter as part of that process, the application process. Another big aspect to think about are primary sources. So our programs are really founded in primary source research. We have professional historians on staff, like my colleague Zach, who work with the grant applicants in vetting that information, ensuring the utmost historical accuracy. And that's something that we're really proud of. We really consider our programs the gold standard of historical markers, or some folks like to say the good housekeeping seal of approval. I'd say the Pomeroy seal of approval, so that you can really ensure that the facts presented are accurate to the historical study. And as we think about some ideas for the trail, we talked about the banana split, or for Legends and Lore, maybe Johnny Appleseed. We have a digital map on our website that has the location of all of the markers we funded nationwide, including throughout Western Pennsylvania. And you can really think about that as a tool for generating ideas, seeing what's already maybe in the region, seeing what other people are doing, and thinking about how that really can connect to your local history. It's a great resource. You can filter by different keywords. So check this out on the website. There's a button on the homepage, and our website is wgpfoundation.org. It's on all of our materials, and that'll also be on the last slide. The Other program that I want to mention that my colleague Zach presented on yesterday is our education initiative. And for those of you who are educators or have educators in your network who are working with students, this is a great curricular program, 3-week program that we provide free to educators so that students can learn about primary source research, they can learn about grant writing, and at the end of that project, they can get a historical marker in their community. It's a great engagement tool. If somebody was to facilitate a program through a curriculum in your schools and work on one of these markers, that marker could potentially be part of the Laurel Highlands Heritage Trail as well. So it's just another great way of thinking about connecting young people into thinking about the 250th, thinking about their local history, thinking about this level of engagement, of bringing the connections between the histories of all 3 counties together. And it's has some really exciting outcomes. We've had some great attention for the marker dedications, and the students really get to see their research come to life. So with that, I will conclude by sharing my information, and follow us on social media. We're here for the rest of the morning. Talk to me, talk to Zach, talk to Dawn. We can kind of facilitate those conversations about your ideas and talking a little bit more in depth about the grant application process and what that would look like for the Laurel Highlands Heritage Trail. Thank you.